540 drones. 39 minutes. For sites that feed a war machine. You clicked for a refinery strike, stay, because the real fight happens inside a saturated radar net that blinks for less than a second. This is the story of a swarm that starts from 37 hidden launch points and climbs a three-tier ladder, decoys high, provocateurs mid, killers low. We'll trace how Mugon X ghosts pull missiles, UJ-32s burn short-range batteries, and FP-9 strikers vanish in ground clutter to hit Novoshakhtinsk, Oryol, Tula, and Ryazan. By the end, you'll know why timing, not pilots, decided this battle. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. How do hundreds of cheap airframes turn a fortified region into one unsolvable math problem? You do it with a clock. Not stealth alone. Not speed alone. Timing. The Western Defense Belt is a wall of sensors and shooters. Layered radars scan low, mid, and high. Batteries overlap like shingles. Command nodes fuse tracks and push fire orders across cables and microwave links. It's a net meant to catch bombers and cruise missiles with clean signatures and tidy timelines. It survives by sorting, ranking, and assigning. But then 37 hidden launch sites light up at once. Forest cuts breathe heat. Abandoned depots cough exhaust. Rooftops shed tar vapor. Highway overpasses hide flash and sound under truck noise. Every site risks early discovery from thermal spikes and acoustic tails. Crews hold to the plan because detection is less deadly than delay. The math only works if all hands press start. Ignition staggers by seconds, not minutes. Emissions stay masked, low-power links, brief bursts, narrow beams. Terrain-following routes hug rivers, cut through rail cuts, slip behind tree lines, and skate along berms. Antennas stay cold unless a drone must correct. Each airframe knows its leg, its climb window, its time hack. Lines of sight break on purpose, forcing enemy radars to reacquire again and again. Time becomes a weapon. Not just launch time, but arrival time at each defensive ring. 3 altitude bands rise and hold their marks. High for search radars. Mid for short-range fire control. Low for the strike wave. The point is to arrive together, across sectors, within seconds. Defenders can queue and kill a trickle. They cannot queue a flood that hits all lanes at once. Think of it like a DDoS. One server can filter a few packets. Millions at once force it to fail open. Air defenses live under the same rule. Filters are radars. Firewalls are batteries. The network breaks when the queue overflows, not when a single packet gets through. The swarm doesn't seek invisibility. It seeks saturation. Early warning radars start to choke. Low RCS returns pop in and out of ground clutter. Dozens of sectors light with hundreds of plots. Track files multiply as machines try to stitch ghosting hits into stable tracks. Update rates lag. Correlation throws false merges. Operators see smeared blobs where discrete targets should be. The timeline shifts from clean to dirty in seconds. This is what the plan wants. Not silence, but overload. The goal is to exceed the human and machine processing stack, sensors, processors, operators, command. Bad tasking follows. Batteries get split. Interceptors go after decoys with strong echoes while quieter killers skate by. Fire control queues grow longer than missile flyout times. A shot fired late might as well be no shot at all. Across the belt, for strike groups hold their own clocks. Their routes bend but their times stay hard. A drone will loiter in a shadow before breaking the timeline. Another will speed up in a valley to catch the gate. The swarm trades fuel margin for schedule integrity because the schedule is the weapon. At the mark, the decision lands. The operation commits. The hero is not a pilot. It's the clock. 540 drones leave 37 points and lock to one beat, turning open air into a timed corridor. The wall of defense stands, but the queue is already wrong. Tasks stack. Batteries split. The net shakes. With the clock running, the swarm climbs the three-tier ladder next, top ghosts to stretch the ceiling, mid-provocateurs to rip open emitters, and the ground-hugging killers that ride the dirt toward 4 sites that matter most. Why would an attacker spend drones to die first, and still win? Because dead drones move the fight. They bend sensors. They steal time. They buy the lane for the killers below. Tier 1 climbs first. Mugon X decoys step to about 3,800 meters and hold a clean profile. They are built to be seen. They throw bright radar skin, steady speed, steady heading. Search radars snap up. Fire control radars reach to ceiling. Operators shift gain to the high sky. Every sweep at altitude clears the floor a bit more. The decoys also sample the rhythm, how fast the search beam cycles, how often a track confirms, how long a fire control lock holds before it swaps. Timing notes go down the ladder. Meanwhile, Tier 2 pushes mid-band. UJ-32s move into the short-range bubbles where point defense lives. They carry the silhouette and reflectivity of the real thing. They fly in pairs and odd threes, with slight speed offsets that break clean spacing. That forces the point batteries to light emitters and spend missiles on lookalikes. Every SHORAD unit that fires at mid-altitude learns fast what the price tag is. The cost of one interceptor could buy a handful of airframes. The radars they face hop frequencies in microsteps. That trick dodges noise and jamming by switching channels faster than a blunt jammer can chase. But spoofed returns walk with them. The swarm injects irregular echoes, slightly late, slightly fast, in the same band but out of phase, so tracking gates drift. A bad gate means a lost lock. A lost lock means a fire control queue resets, and a battery wastes seconds reacquiring. Spread that across sectors and the queue breaks. Attrition flips right there. Every missile that chases a bright mimic means one less shot for the low flyers. The exchange rate tilts hard. Metal worth a car trades for metal worth a house. The defender sees a clean kill on a decoy and feels good for 5 seconds. Then the bottom tier moves through the gap the missile left. Pattern interrupt. A 9S-19 type radar blinks under load and timing tricks. Not minutes. A sliver of time. Less than a second when the processor dumps plots and starts a new frame. In that thin window, the lowest wave drops below the net's awareness. You don't need a minute. You need a heartbeat when the gate is blind. Now the ground-hugging tier earns its pay. FP9 strikers hold treetop height, where ground clutter hides them. The curve of the earth blocks line of sight. Hills kill look-down ranges. Trees eat side lobes. That is physics, not luck. Signals scatter. Returns smear. A tiny drone at 20 meters over a dark field looks like the field. Unless a sensor sits on that same field, it never gets a clean shot. For strike groups ride their clocks. They bend routes to stay in cover but keep the time the plan needs. Command nodes try to juggle too many tracks. They misassign threats to the wrong batteries. They split coverage in ways the attackers predicted hours earlier. A battery that should defend a pipe rack fires north at a decoy. A battery that should guard a tank farm slews east for a ghost. The effect stacks. Top and mid tiers burn the shield. They drain missiles. They pull beams up and sideways. Down low, the knives stay sharp. Most FP9s break through intact and on time. Not by luck. By schedule. By pressure. By rules of physics that punish late decisions. With the gates open, the swarm doesn't hunt. It executes. 4 sights. 4 blows. One seam in the fuel chain that, once cut, ripples through trains, pumps, and repair crews already spread thin. The win was the 39-minute geometry. Layered defense became a timing trap. Not by louder blasts, but by synchronized arrivals that forced sensors, shooters, and command to trip over their own cues. That's the shift you need to track: mass timing over raw firepower, algorithmic rhythm over pilot skill. If you're tracking how cheap swarms crack expensive shields, subscribe and tell me which layer you'd reinforce first: sensors, shooters, or command. Comment your choice below. The age of the pilot is yielding to the age of the clock. The side that masters time writes the after-action report. So, what would you harden first, and why?